I keep breaking rules. Hey everybody, this is DM Mike, and today we're going to talk about the radio drama. The next radio drama, I think it's number 7. Oh, once again, the thumbnail will be correct. Maybe it's 6. Maybe it's there's actually a cutscene or radio drama that I forgot to put in. So I think that's what's throwing my numbers off. But anyway, we played this past Friday, and the campaign diary is coming up next. I didn't want to get into that. Actually, it was pretty mellow. The game we had, which it happens on occasion, actually pretty good compared to the last game we had, where it was like a lot of high tension. But this radio drama, there's a reason why I wrote this a particular way, and I think I'll talk about this at the back end of this video. But let's go ahead and set up the radio drama. This is radio drama number 6 or 7. And this is a radio drama that parallels our characters. So our characters are like on this line, right? And they are trapped at the camp. A lot of crap has gone down. If you've watched the campaign diary, you know the kind of situation they're in. So we have all this stuff happening. Well, to me, Greenest and our prologue adventure also, we started in a town called Kingston. And if you've watched the campaign diary 1 or 2, I talk about that. Well, they're still active. They're still doing things. Time is still moving while they're stuck at the camp. So I decided to kind of connect our prologue adventure a little bit more to where the characters were right now, and to show what's going on at Greenest. I think it's easy to run this campaign and just kind of toss Greenest aside once you're done with chapter 1. And I feel like Greenest is probably going to play a role, at least in my campaign, for the next, I don't know, probably till the end of the book. So this particular radio drama, as they're captured, takes place in Kingston. The first half of it takes place in Kingston. And the second half actually flashes back to Greenest and what they're doing at this moment. But in that prologue adventure, one of our characters, I'll put her up here, Althea, who has the Fae, Cricket, they came across an old witch who lived in Kingston. She has a kind of a special relationship with the Archbishop. She's actually very, very, very old, hundreds of years old. She's been around, but she doesn't mind the term witch. She's a good witch. But her and Althea connected. And she could see that there was a ward, something placed upon Althea, not destiny, not anything like that, or prophecy, nothing like that. But there was some kind of special connection, something that was time was messing with, the fates were messing with, and so her and the Fae, Cricket and Althea, she just felt a connection there, and they actually did. We had a little scene there, 8 sessions ago, when we did the prologue adventure, where they were talking to one another, and she kind of on 101 told her that the spirits were calling her. They were talking to her. There's something unique in this situation, whether it's Althea or the Cricket, the Fae, not too sure, but they seem to be wrapped up in each other somehow. And they are connected. So anyway, that was like 8 sessions ago, which translates to like, a month and a half, almost 2 months ago. So I felt like, let's go back to that. Because if you watch the campaign diary before this, Cricket is being tortured. The Fae is. And of course, Althea is feeling that pain. And that pain and that what happened to the camp resonated all the way back to Kingston. And Balin, who is the old witch, could feel it. And she knew Althea was in trouble. So Balin also runs like this old alchemy shop. She's kind of an apothecary, potion creator. She works with a tall humanoid creature. I'll put a picture up so you have them in your head. Like Talon and Balin, what they look like. They just work together. They work together for a long time. They run a shop in Kingston. They just have a little comical interlude between themselves. Balin kind of talks like Yoda, and not in that speech, but just like vague. You don't know exactly what she's talking about sometimes. She just goes and does what she needs to do. So the radio drama starts off in Kingston with those two kind of bantering back and forth. She knows something's wrong with Althea and the Fae. So she immediately leaves the shop, goes up to speak to the Archbishop, which she has a special relationship. He knows she is incredibly wise. She's been around for a long time. And if she comes barging into the throne room, it's okay. And that's kind of what she does. And so they have a little bit of communication back and forth. And then finally, the last half of this radio drama flashes to Greenest and what's occurring there. Because they're still recovering. They just had a huge battle. And if you put the timeline there, the characters are only gone. The players are only gone for like a day. So And of course, you can mess with time as a DM, right? We can change a little bit of that. But anyway, so that's the essence of the radio drama. It's about Balin and the things she was feeling, going to the Archbishop, setting up, foreshadowing things, but also setting up the next bits of movement and pieces that are happening in Greenest. And by the time the characters get back to Greenest, they see those results, and this all makes sense once you listen to it. Anyway, I hope that explains it enough. I've not really talked about the prologue adventure. It was like 4 hours, and it actually set up a lot of stuff. There's a lot of foreshadowing in that particular episode, and that's why it was there. So this is now paying off, 8 weeks later, 9 weeks, however long we've been playing. So anyway, let's get to it. I've called this one, I wrote the script, it was about 6 pages, so I did break the rules. It's 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm sorry, it is. The last one was 5 minutes, 30 seconds, and I thought that was bad. But it was actually good. I really enjoyed the last one. But anyway, of course I'm impressed with my own work. Who isn't? But anyway, this is about 6.5 minutes. But I think it's fun to listen to. And if you've played the adventure or you've been in those first few chapters, I think it'll work. Of course, your prologue adventure is very different from mine, but I think it pays off. So anyway, go ahead and give it a listen. And then when we get back to this, I'll tell you why I did it. Like, why did I go that direction? So, all right, guys, here it is. I've called this one The Witch and the Night. The sun shines brightly upon the countryside of Kingston. The farmlands bristling with fervent greens of lush vegetation, and ivory walls gleaming from youthful stone. The foundations young, and its citizens seasoned with prosperity. In an old rustic shop in the market district of Kingston, a large bird-like humanoid stirs an old cauldron of bubbling herbs and magical ephemera. He merrily whisks, seasons, and tastes the concoction, happy with both the color and the thickness of his primordial soup. Suddenly, an old woman, Balin, walks past in a hurry, grabbing an old leather pouch and her cane mid-stride.
Mind the shop. I shall return.
The thin bird suddenly stops his rhythmic stirring.
Wait, what? I'm right in the middle of brewing our next batches. Where are you headed? The spirits call.
I know you think you're communicating, but you're really not.
Fine. The song of the ward calls me.
Yeah, that's still not helpful. Balin stops, grabs the tall bird by his robes, and pulls him abruptly to her wrinkled face.
I'm going to the cathedral, you wrinkly old woodpecker. See? Now we're making progress. Now, was that so hard?
She releases him with a sigh and heads towards the main street. Talon quickly calls out.
And by the way, I'm not old. I'm in the prime of my very existence. Look at these wings and this resplendent coat of feathers. Why, I should be in a painting. We should be in a birdcage. Well, that was hurtful. But at least we're communicating.
Balin, short but nimble, works her way through the crowded streets, heading towards the towering stone cathedral of the Red Knights. In the elaborate marble hallways, Balin presses forward, her cane resonating with a rhythmic tap as she approaches 2 large ornate doors. The Red Knights standing guard by the bishop's threshold regard the old lady with a peculiar look as the old witch approaches. One guard steps forward.
Madam, the Archbishop is busy with matters of state. You are not permitted.
Her approach continues. Reaching into her pouch, she tosses an emerald dust into the air. Inside the chamber, Archbishop Keegan is holding court with several barons, but is suddenly interrupted as the main doors swing open. 2 guards lay asleep near the doorway, weapons clattering to the floor. Keegan suddenly stops and takes a deep breath as his advisors turn towards the clamor. Balin, without hesitation, approaches the throne, stops, settles herself, and calls out.
The ward is in trouble.
Keegan nods and addresses the officials, who remain befuddled and annoyed at her interruption.
Gentlemen, let us reconvene in an hour. You are all dismissed.
The scholars, politicians, and various other citizens gather their things and quickly leave with whispers and murmurs as they stare at the old witch. Balin ignores their stares and keeps her eyes on Keegan.
You have my ear, Balin. Elaborate, please. Who is in trouble?
A druid, whose company was one of the Fae. She is a kinsman to the group who helped you kill the thralls on the night of calling.
Yes, I remember. What has happened?
She is in great pain, and it is important that you send reinforcements to Greenest.
Why Greenest?
It has been attacked and lies vulnerable.
Greenest has been attacked? By whom?
What does it matter? Send troops immediately.
I would if I was able to, but you know our knights are scattered across the realm, searching for the sword, shield, and crown of the White Queen. Numbers are thin. There is none to spare.
Then I shall go myself, if the throne has become impotent and its armies hollow.
She turns to leave, but Keegan stops her.
Wait, no, wait. Don't be foolish. I think there's something we can do.
Then do so. And in so doing, this must accompany them.
What is this?
A gift for the druid. Be sure it is delivered to her immediately.
Very well. It will be done. Balin turns to leave, content with the resolution. As she approaches the door, the comatose guards still napping. She pauses and peers over her shoulder.
What do you plan to send?
Keegan removes his cape as he takes his seat at the throne. Have you ever met a Gith? A puzzled look washes over the face of Balin as Keegan looks at her with a smile. At the ruins of Greenest, Castellan peers through a spyglass atop the keep, scanning the horizon when he suddenly stops, spotting something in the distance. He does a double take and then slowly drops the device to his side.
Governor, you might want to see this.
What is it? Have they returned? Castellan simply shoves the spyglass into the governor's chest.
Just look.
What in the... Is it possible those things are coming to attack us?
They carry the white flag of the Archbishop. My guess is reinforcements have arrived.
But how? How would they even know? And why them? Why didn't they send a battalion of Red Knights? I mean, what is this?
That's an awful lot of questions. Perhaps they'll have the answers. I have fought alongside the Gift before, Governor. They are ruthless and loyal as any dwarf. At this point, I'll take anyone who comes into the front gates and offers help, even if it was a battalion of halflings.
Well, let's open the gates, raise the white flag, and try not to upset them. At the gates, Governor Nightwing, Castellan, and the remaining troops watch as the militia steadily approaches. Their enormous bodies covered in colonial armor and bristling weaponry rapidly descends onto their position and quickly comes to a halt in rigid military formation. One of them steps forward, his size and bulk intimidating. It takes one long huff and extends its enormous hoof.
Greetings. I am Captain Artemis of the 62nd Regiment. The city of Kingston stands with you. Fear no longer.
You are a hippo?
Yes, a hippo. With guns.
There you go. 6 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that. I'll go ahead and wrap this up pretty quick. These radio drama pieces are supposed to be kind of quick. Why did I do this? Why did I go that direction with this? It actually came from inspiration from our last session. I don't know how you do this, but when I DM a session, I immediately kind of recap. I'll bullet point like Google Docs. Get on there and just recap a little bit. But then sometimes that immediately inspires me for the next session. So I'm already writing stuff that night for the next session. There's one little piece, maybe about 4 sentences, close to a paragraph, that was this scene that kind of came to my head with Balin and the Archbishop, and that she was feeling something. That was it. And so I decided to take that and run with it. I think it was just another one of those inspirational moments, just like the last one. Please, if you haven't listened to Radio Drama number 5, go check that out. That was actually pretty cool. If I may say so, I really enjoyed that one. And it's just a clear example of just, wow, when inspiration hits, how powerful it can be. I hope that doesn't sound braggadocious. I'm not trying to do that. But this one, too, was inspiration. Like this one little scene which kind of manifested and got a little bigger. Now, why did I do it? I didn't mean to go 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I'll tell you that much. The script was about 4 or 5 pages long, so it translated about 6.5 minutes. But I did it because we needed release. We needed the air to come out of the room for a moment. We needed the pressure to be released in the game. I don't know if you've watched a sitcom. I'm sure you have. But there's always these moments in every single sitcom where there's like this dramatic, tense moment. And then some character says something stupid to release the tension in the room, like to kind of play it out and just like give an get an exhale to the scene. And that's what I felt like our characters needed. We the last session, if you go back and watch the campaign diary, it was pretty tense. It was good. It was still good. I still think it was a good session, but there was just emotions all over the place. So I felt like, okay, we had this tense moment. Let's release some of that pressure. And so even if you're doing campaigns beyond, just doing radio dramas, but if you're just doing a campaign, keep that in mind. Maybe, when you're running sessions, you have tense session after tense session. It might be time to release the pressure. And I think tonight's cutscene, a radio drama, gosh, I want to get cutscene out of my vocabulary. Radio drama helped. I think it really helped that evening. I think because that game afterwards was pretty mellow. I think we loosened up, and everybody was kind of comfortable at the table, and there was a lot of goofing around a little bit. Not bad, that didn't derail us, but I felt a release of tension because of what happened in the camp. So that is why I did it. I wasn't trying to create longer radio dramas, but I was trying to release the tension in the room for the characters, for the players, and to know, and also to kind of reveal that just because you guys are captured, time is still moving forward. Like, it doesn't just stop. Greenest is still going through its things. Kingston, where we started, is still going through its things. They're still connected. They still care about you. There's things that are going on. So that's why I did it. I hope that makes sense. And I think it's kind of a lesson to learn to bring to your campaigns, not through radio dramas, of course, but I mean, like, if you have a tense session, hey, maybe it's time to release the pressure a little bit. I mean, it's okay to keep the pressure on, right? I mean, that's no problem. Make it tense. Make it like, oh my gosh, we're going to die, or whatever the situation is. But sometimes I think it is necessary to release the built-up pressure for your players and for your characters. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's what I have today. The next thing coming up will be the campaign diary. I think there's other 2 videos that I uploaded that I don't even remember when they're posting. And then we're going to keep moving forward. There's going to be a little bit of a break coming up because I'm going to be moving. But and then I'm going to start diving into the personal radio dramas I sent out to them. So you can see this idea, an example for you that you can send to your players to just get them even more interested in the game and have their own kind of secret knowledge and that they can bring to the table, and they can just reveal it whenever they want. So there's quite a few things. Okay. And so I'm going to do the campaign diary or chapter 2 tips. Those are the campaign diary or the chapter 2 tips are what's coming up next. Both are kind of ready to go. The campaign diary is going to be really easy to recap. So one of those 2 is coming up quickly after this. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm not going to drag it out any longer. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.